Ah, favorite part of the day. Let's check out what ZakIsCinema uploaded today. Oh, sweet. A new skit video? I love when he uploads this. Gotta check this out. What's with the static? This isn't like his normal videos. What the fuck? What is wrong with this guy? No way. Oh, fuck. No way he just did that. That wasn't just a random skip video, that was the video. Oh my god, my favorite YouTuber just cursed me. Oh my god. No way. Ugh. I can't believe he just showed me the video. I gotta think. I mean, who can I pass this off to? I can't do my mom. That's too far. You can't do your mom. Dad, no, I can't do that to my mom. I don't know, grandma's at the end, but she can't. What a way to go. I can't do that. Come on, think. What would ZakIsCinema do? Oh, that's it. Oh my god, that's it. I think that could actually work. I think I got an idea. Oh my god. This is genius. They're never gonna see it coming. I'll make this quick. Right. Alright, just can't act nervous here. Act like it's a normal video. Act like it's a normal video, and we're gonna pass this right along. Hello everybody, and welcome back to ZakIsCinema. Welcome back everybody. Today we are going to be reviewing and discussing the movie Ring, or also known as Ringu, which came out in 1998. A journalist investigates a cursed videotape that kills its viewers in 7 days, uncovering a disturbing supernatural mystery tied to a girl named Sadako. Okay, just quickly, ZakIsCinema is jumping in here. I have to lean in because this is pretty serious. I am so sorry about that. I am so sorry. I had to pass the curse to somebody, let's be honest. I got a big career ahead of me right now, clearly, and yeah, I couldn't be sitting with that curse, but good news for you lucky person watching this video, you don't need to be cursed. I just heard that if you, like, share, and subscribe on the channel, share this video, you can pass the curse to somebody else, so feel free to do that, and you should be fine. And with that said, let's get back to the review. When I started this channel, I obviously love talking about movies. I adore movies so much. It's been a huge part of my life. But with that being said, if I'm being honest to everybody, I am one of those movie lovers that is incredibly ignorant to movies at the same time. And one of my goals with starting this channel is really just kind of trying to branch out and expand my movie taste and my love for movies. And I feel like foreign films specifically is one of the areas I am super ignorant with. I've really only seen like the mainstream ones, you got like Parasite and Train to Busan. So I thought it'd be so much fun to just delve into this franchise. We are going to be starting with the first 3 Japanese Ring films and then going over the American 3 Ring films, comparing them, doing a ranking, and this is going to be like my 3rd foreign film, so you guys are delving into this experience with me, so welcome on this beautiful adventure here. But without further ado, let's jump into the review section for Ringu. Let's start with the positives, or the things that I just enjoyed most about this movie. And to me, I love movies, specifically horror movies, that kind of make the opening credits kind of part of its experience, and this movie does it perfectly. I love the hypnotic shots of water that instantly create this building tension and almost this sinking feeling, at least for me, paired with that beautiful, eerie music that just pulled me right in when I went to watch this movie. I think the opening with the two girls that we're following in their bedroom after school is incredibly effective. It sets up the movie's premise and what it's going for, but never once releases any of that tension. It feels like a real conversation between friends. To me, it kind of gave me that vibe of like scary stories you would tell your friends, and those stories would really stick with you and make you afraid to go to bed that night. That same feeling, it really put me back there. And the idea of this creepy story being told between these friends, and then before the intro is done, we get to see that premise kind of playing true a little bit. When we get to see the TV turn on, that creepy warning shot, and then it actually comes true, is so simple and terrifying. And what I really love and adore here is that we never see anything in this opening death. We only get this girl's reaction to what she is seeing, but we don't see what she is seeing. The filmmakers could have easily shown way too much, way too early on, but instead they really hold themselves back, which just makes this intro, this film in general, way more unsettling to me. And I do apologize. Believe it or not, I am not Japanese, so I know I'm going to butcher these names. It is not on purpose. It's just a fair warning here. I'm really going to try, though, because I really like that we get to follow Ryuko, who is this investigative reporter. And I feel like that element alone is such an underused concept in horror and thriller movies, but it works so well here. I love the genuine mystery this movie sets up and how it's the core and center of this film. We're uncovering it alongside this investigative news reporter, and instead of just being told what's happening, we get to go on that discovery process with her. And throughout the movie, the way that these deaths are being described is so incredibly haunting. People just dying of heart failure with these terrified expressions frozen in fear on their faces is so disturbingly real, which makes this experience so much more scarier to me. And there's also some seriously eerie imagery in this movie that I really enjoyed here. One moment that stuck with me is when Ryuko visits the first girl's home that we saw in the opening, and then out of nowhere, we get this quick flash of her mom finding her daughter's body in the closet with this sharp string note, and we get to see that petrified, frozen in fear face on this girl curled up in the closet. It is so sudden, so disturbing, and it makes you feel like you're watching something that you shouldn't be seeing. And to me, just experiences like this, when I turned this on, I was alone in my apartment, flipped off all my lights, and as soon as that popped up for me, I instantly started regretting not watching this with someone, because I can't remember the last time I just felt like fearful watching a movie. Like, felt like I kind of had to look behind me, look around my environment to make sure the ring girl wasn't around me. And even though I've seen the American version of the first Ring movie, I never remember feeling this scared like I was with the Japanese version, especially during these cursed tape sequences, which is just the most iconic part of this franchise. There's something about it that is so hard to explain the first time you experience it, but they feel so wrong to watch. Watching these tapes makes you feel like you're not supposed to see it and are actually watching a cursed video. It doesn't feel man-made. It feels so dreamlike, and in a way that feels so unnatural. It genuinely gives you that childhood fear of just staring into the dark and imagining something or someone is staring back at you. And throughout this movie, I just really enjoyed how this movie treats its mystery. It never feels cheap or easy, at least at the beginning. We're watching them analyze this tape, literally frame by frame, digging through old records, traveling to different locations to piece things together. It feels so grounded, methodical, and thought out, which just created such an immersive experience for me. And I really appreciate this movie's tone because overall, this movie takes itself so serious, and I think it works for its benefit. It creates such a unique, unsettling atmosphere that I genuinely found myself bracing for what could come next. Like, I didn't want to look at the screen because I was just afraid of a flash of something happening that I'd never be able to get out of my head. And just that uneasy, just not knowing what to expect next. Very few films can do that, and this is one of them. The score here is absolutely incredible and a huge standout to me. It's very subtle but memorable. Lots of string notes and these almost natural kind of ambient sounds that make you feel so isolated, like you're alone in the woods and nothing but the wind is around you, but the wind is creating this almost atmospheric, eerie music in and of itself. It is one of those movies where watching it alone in the dark is the perfect way to experience this because it makes you feel like you're a part of the experience. And of course, I feel like you can't talk about The Ring without talking about the ending of the girl Sadako crawling out of the TV, which is so iconic. I wish I hadn't seen the American one first, but at this point, the girl crawling out of the TV is such an iconic thing of pulp culture. But with this movie, it completely earns that moment and shows you why it is such a part of pop culture. And that's what I loved about this movie the most, is just going back to it, not really experiencing a lot of foreign films. It just kind of opened my eyes to see how much influence and impact this movie had, not only on Japanese films that I've heard of, but the American films that I grew up watching. So just seeing its impact made me feel like I was watching something so special here. But with that said, let's jump over to the negatives, or the things that I just didn't really like about this movie. And even though all my positives are staying the same here, I feel like the movie does lose me in the second half, specifically with its mystery element, the thing I was praising the most within its first half. I really enjoy the character, oh my god, I'm going to butcher this, I'm so sorry, Ryuji, the guy from John Wick 4, Ryuji, and the idea that he has these psychic abilities is very interesting, leads to some cool, eerie moments, but the way the movie started to use that feels a little too convenient and just out of nowhere almost. And instead of uncovering things when we're getting to the revelation side, instead of doing that very natural, it feels like a lot of the information and answers are literally handed to our characters. And that element becomes way more noticeable when we start getting deeper in Sadako's backstory. A lot of the biggest reveals, especially the idea that the tape isn't man-made, but something created through Sadako's psychic rage, feels like they come very quickly, out of nowhere, and not a lot of build-up. The biggest issue is that the movie shifts from this slow, methodical mystery into something that feels overly rushed and overly dense within its third act structure. For example, these two main characters, they're traveling, they're meeting new characters, and suddenly gain a lot of information in such a short amount of time. They find out about Shizuko, the psychic experiments, the public demonstration, and Sadako's origins. It's a lot to kind of take in, and I know the subtitles of my experience may have led to some of that not feeling supernatural, but it feels like it's being delivered all at once instead of naturally discovered like they were doing so well in that first half or first 60% of the movie. And because of that, it just kind of feels a little bit convoluted compared to how clean and focused the beginning was, and that really leads to my biggest issue is with the movie's ending, unfortunately. I like the idea, but the execution just kind of left me feeling unsatisfied. Ryuko suddenly explains through narration in the last 30 seconds that she figured out the way to survive is by copying the tape and then showing it to somebody else, passing on that curse. And it's obviously very interesting and a dark concept, but kind of just gets told to us. I still don't understand how she really figured that out. We never see her figure it out. It just kind of happens after her partner, after he's killed from the girl crawling out of the TV, is pointing to her bag, and then she makes all these connections. And I'm like, I feel like something's missing here. I feel like you were just whispered information that I was not given. It felt so rushed. It felt so convenient. And instead of feeling like such a strong conclusion, it feels like the movie introduces this new rule and lore the last minute and then just ends. And it's not a bad ending. A lot of the discovery side is still interesting once you get those answers throughout the movie, but it just doesn't feel as earned or as strong or as immersive as the first 60 to 70% of the movie was. So it's so frustrating because the first half of the movie is literally a 10 out of 10 for me, and then it really struggles its second half, even though I was still really enjoying it, even though I was still very scared and on edge while I was experiencing this. But with that said, I will say that overall, Ring or Ringu is deeply unsettling, atmospheric horror experience with a gripping mystery and unforgettable imagery. However, it is slightly held back by a rushed and overly convenient final act. So for my rating for this movie, this again is a difficult one because like I said, first half, 10 out of 10, second half really kind of lets me down, but it's so influential. It's such an impactful and overall an enjoyable experience. So I feel like for that reason alone, I'd like to own this movie just to kind of buff out my foreign films, get a movie that had so much impact and influence over Japanese cinema and American cinema, but I feel like I'd be more comfortable kind of doing it at that discounted price. I don't know if this is something I'm dying to add to my collection. If I see it around discounted, I'd love to add it, but that's about it here, guys. Please down below, let me know what you think of this series. We're going to cover the other two mainline Japanese ones and then jump on over to the American one, do a couple comparison videos, do a ranking. I just thought this would be a fun little series. So let me know your experience, thoughts, and feelings with Ringu. Did you see this one first or the American one first? Let me know if that kind of changed your experience, or just let me know what you think of this original Japanese horror film. That's about it. I appreciate anybody watching my videos, so thank you so much. And yeah, look forward to more ZakIsCinema coming very soon.